The fruit of your destiny is nourished by the roots of your past? Yes, I believe that. Yeah, I'm me, this is me, and this is me. They're all facets of the same person, yeah. It's me surrounded by art in my studio. My mind was a million miles from residential schools, and it's obvious. I was free at this time, just before I was rudely awakened once again by the whole residential school experience. My name is R.G Miller. I'm from the Six Nations, Mohawk territory in Oswego. I guess how I got into the Mush Hole at a very, very young age. I was probably 38 months old. I think I went in '53 in August of that year. And I was a baby, and they drove me around. And at night, when they thought I was asleep, they took me and gave me to them. But it was in the insistence of a chap named Stallward, who was the Indian agent, and he was basically, rounding up as many Indians as he could to put in residential schools.
It's always there, lingering, just beyond my reach. Sometimes I can forget about it completely. Sometimes I need something to help me forget. The memories of residential school.
My memories as a child were pretty good. I mean, I was very well treated. I was coddled. The girls loved me, and so it was great. I don't know whether it was my blue eyes or the fact that I was just a cuddly little baby. When I left the girls' side and went to the boys' side, it starts with a shove and then a hit. And then as things go on, you get into a fight, and usually the fight will last until somebody's bleeding. You didn't and don't know it at the time, but it's part of the Mush Hole way. Some staff were nice, and many of the staff were not nice. They just beat you till you broke down and cried, and that's when it'd stop. And you'd be bruised. And then sometimes the nurses would see the bruises, but they never reported anything. The worst would be, I think, Boyce, simply because he was a rapist, and he was also a pedophile. And he was a priest. And that's what was confusing. 2 hours every Sunday in church and getting molested just about every night. Not just me, but anybody get his freaking hands on. I mean, at night there's only 2 supervisors, one for the girls and one for the boys. The guy had the run of the freaking institute.
It's bigger than us. This school, this place without love. We stand together in grief, waiting for the bell to ring, waiting to eat, waiting to be told what to do, waiting to be accepted, engulfed by something that's so much bigger than us. Without love, I start to change, to become more like you.
When you're little, 5 years old, 6 years old, you don't know what the hell is right and wrong, and And what, I guess, when you hurt and when you're excuse me, when you're by yourself, any affection is affection. And you accept it. And then you have to feel the guilt. And that's part of the life, even when you look out on the bad days. And then you think you're lost. You don't know. You know, is that your universe? You know, looking up at the clouds and the shapes. Is that everything? And then another little kid will come and show you another kind of life amongst the kids in residential schools. And that is that you are family, that they love you, and they'll be your friend. So you dismiss all of these horrors, and it becomes part of your daily routine. This is what happened to me. I didn't say to them, this is what happened to everyone, although I suspect it happened to a lot, you know, if not most. And that's me. That's me being raped. That's me being culturally deprived and raped. That's me not being able to speak my language. Perhaps all I could do at that time was scream. And I hope that if you do recognize anybody, or you see that this is that's a priest's collar, and if you become aware of it, you know, and there, in fact, is a gentleman, and I have no guilt, whatever, in anyone knowing who they are or my portraying them. They didn't have any guilt, you know, what they did to me and what they did to the others.
I tell myself that I don't care that I feel disconnected. I tell myself that I don't care that my spirit feels inadequate. I tell myself that I don't care that I began my life without love. Somewhere deep inside, I know it's a lie.
It bothered me, and it was bearing witness. As you can see, it was finished with sight. And when I was working on the drawings and memories of the Mush Hole, this painting spoke to me more and bothered me. So I brushed out his eyes. And what I was trying to portray was the husks, the basic, you know, the rotten skeletons that are left, and what we are, basically. And no matter what anybody says in the healing process of what happened to them, so much has happened to them. They'll never forget it. And perhaps we're looking for an impossible event. And I guess the last horizon is perhaps this kind of reconciliation that's been promised so much. I don't know how the people in South Africa feel about the success of their reconciliation and truth. But here in Canada, it's a lot of lip service. Winnipeg, no, there's a place to go. Oh, by the way, there's a Truth and Reconciliation Commission there, a museum. Oh yeah, we're natives, they became nurses, farmers. Oh wow. They don't tell you about us going, oh yeah, they were abused too. You know, they'll skip over that. Why in the hell not put it downtown Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa? And if you want a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, it has to be action-orientated, fact-based, truth first, foremost. And when you get 30 people saying something happened, it's a fact. It happened. Boyce, Zimmerman, and all the pedophiles across Canada, within the Catholic Church, within the Anglican Church, and within the Presbyterian, and all the others. The truth of what they all did should be brought to light as part of the reconciliation. Like, it's not just us who are bad. It's not just us who become drunks. It's not just us who punch people out and get punched out in bars. It's not just us who are the dirty Indians on the street in Toronto. Who in the hell made us that? People like Zimmerman. Yes, he should have to pay. And yes, his story should be told too.
I feel it rising up in my chest, growing higher and higher. This silent scream of shame, your toxic shame. It fills my little body until I shake with it. You told me not to cry. I do the best I can. You can't hear me singing because you tell me to be silent.
I learned and loved art, I guess, as an escape. Everything I have to say is hanging on the walls. The Anglican Church today, in my mind, has taken a big step forward in allowing some of the most painful moments in my memory to be exhibited in their chapel. It's been a release in terms of my creative energies. It's allowed me to nurture this little boy. It's allowed me to pick on this little boy, and it's allowed me to depend on this little boy. It's served everything for me, but it's allowed me to believe that I could overcome and consistently still live with this little boy. They haven't killed me yet. I'm still here, and I can still create. That little boy is still hanging around. And this work is that little boy. How much greater could that little boy have become without all of these interferences and these abuses? You know, I could have become a man. But I'm happy being an artist.
Yatinista hunja hawi hawi ne hawe. Yatinista hunja hawi hawi ne hawe. Yahweh ne hawi hawi ne hawe. Yatinista hunja hawi hawi ne hawe. Ganawe aheya. Yatinista hunja hawi hawi ne hawe. Yatinista hunja hawi hawi ne hawe. Satunia ne de hadawe akwa. Ha ha ha. Say one.